Hi, my name is Yasu and I live in Japan. I actually in Osaka right now, and then after making this video, I'm gonna actually head it to the Osaka Expo. Hopefully, I will get to visit at least one or two pavilions because all of my so like I applied for the lottery things to try to get the seats to visit the pavilions, but all of my like lotteries actually I couldn't get it. So let's see how this is gonna play out. Anyway, so today I'm making this video to answer one of the questions, which is the question is, do you think, or do I think I made the right decisions to take the antidepressant to deal with my depression. And the question was given to me on the comment section for one of my videos a few months ago, but I couldn't really figure out when I should actually make a video to answer the question because because my answer is gonna be very subjective and it can be changed based on the timing that I make this video. And what I meant is that I completely stopped taking the effexor, and then the first 2 months I really suffered very severe withdrawal symptoms. And if I made a video like a month ago or 2 months ago, I would most likely say that, oh, I really made a mistake of taking the effexor antidepressant. But right now, I feel much more comfortable and I can see the steps how I can really get really better from here. And I can see myself that I wouldn't actually have to take effexor or any kind of antidepressant or even the bridge medications to deal with any symptoms because my brain and my body have gotten finally adjusted enough for myself to feel very stable and very comfortable. Not always or not every day I feel that way. However, most of the time and most of the days in a month or in a week, I feel very comfortable. And which is exactly what I needed. I knew that this would actually happen to me based on the experience that I went through with the side effect when I was started to taking the effexor initially, and then when I started to reduce in the amount, I suffered from the withdrawal symptoms. But as long as I gave my body and brain some time to get used to it, eventually I got stabilized. Those are my success story, and then all I had to do is to just apply the same thing for the situation that I stopped taking the effexor completely. However, the intensity of visual symptoms when I stopped taking the effexor was it's just too much. And then it took almost 3 months for me to feel comfortable without taking effexor. It's it's a very long time. So especially like the beginning of June or the end of May, I felt very hopeless. I felt so tired. And even though I knew that eventually I would get to where I am right now, but suffering from And being in that dark place for like nearly 2 months, yet still not really feeling better, I was starting to having self-doubts that, or maybe this time is different because I don't have any supports from the medications in my brain, and maybe it might not be possible for me to get off with it. But also part of me was like, no, 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 you just need to give your brain and body a little bit more time so that eventually it will get used to it. The intensity of withdrawal symptoms are not as bad as what it was initially, like the first 1 month or 2 months. And then look at yourself, you can sleep much better compared to 2 months ago, a month ago. And if which was actually true, however, none of that really mattered. Objectively speaking, all that like the sleeping data and everything says that I'm getting better. However, the feeling that I have about my brain, my body, and everything is just so uncomfortable. So that's why like I just didn't know and trying to figure out back then when I should actually make a video to respond to the question, because like I said, if I made a video a month ago, I would say that, oh, I made a mistake of taking the antidepressant. I really regret it. Probably I would say that. But right now, I think I made a right decisions to take it. But also I need to really emphasize this one is that because I feel better, I'm saying this. And that's how difficult to deal with depressions and cope with mental health or keep mental health better. And looking back, it's almost 2 years since I have started this journey. Like 2023 July, that's when I first started to taking the antidepressant, and immediately I got positive impact on my symptoms, as well as I had side effects and everything. But based on how I ended up agreeing to take the medications, I just kept going and going. And there was a lot of positive effects, of course, but also a lot of negative effects as well. And that is why I really don't want to make video to sound like, oh, you should take the antidepressant because that's the only way to get better. Because even when I was taking I enjoy the positive side of it, but also I suffered from the negative side of it. And there is no such kind of pill. It's not the pill that's gonna cure everything, and it's certainly not gonna cure anything. It will only support, how to say, from my perspective though, the antidepressant is just the supporting system. It helps me to get little bit help in my brain to stabilize so that I can focus on my recovery much more and reset my directions in life. That why did I ended up being depressed? Why did I ended up having my mental health so suffering? Oh, maybe I use so much, I'm surrounded by so many factors to affect my mental state on my brain negatively, so I need to just solve it one by one. But to do so, I need support because I'm already in a vulnerable positions anyway, and that's how antidepressant should be used. I suppose that's how I see it. Because effexor stabilized me, and then with the full dose of it, it really helps me to restore my energy level. But at the same time, the real battle really began once everything got stabilized. And I had to really rethink about my life a lot from different kind of perspectives. And then I really found myself how exhausted my brain was, my body was, and I was. So I used entire 2 years of treating depressions. Gradually, I started to get enough rests, be more honest with myself, readjust myself in a life, and I think mm, it's really hard to verbalize that. Let me put it this way, I found a peace in life with new balance in life. Because when before everything started, I was drinking a lot of caffeines, coffees, and everything. I was drinking a lot as well. It's all, if I look back, all the chemicals like caffeines, alcohol, numbed my sense. Like if I felt tired, all I should have done is just sleep. But instead, drinking coffee, energy drink, so that I don't feel tired. But of course, even I didn't feel tired, but my body and my brain were tired. So it's not like energy drinks and caffeine just took away from fatigue from me. Eventually, I would have to sleep and get enough rest. But if I keep pushing myself, making my body and brain feel confused and not to feel exhausted, I think my brain and my body got so confused. And it kept going until it completely crashed. Same thing that I could say about alcohol. I love drinking. I love the feeling of it, the taste of it, and drinking it with food is actually really nice. I like the environment, but it numbs a lot of things in my brain and in feelings and everything. And in the end, that really helps, pushes me to lose connections with myself. And I kept repeating the old cycle like stressed out, feeling tired, then let's go out and then drink. Feeling and tired, let's drink coffee and then get energy drinks and then let's just get boosted up. Everything that I did was to isolate myself from what's really happening to my body and brain, and then I got broken down. Possibly, I'm not sure. I'm just guessing that. But ever since I stopped drinking, and ever since I only drink 2 cups of coffee every day, I realized that when I'm feeling really tired, I am really tired, and I should sleep or I should rest. And that's very important. It's just in our lives, there's just so many stimulants that distract us. Yet we are living organisms that we need to get enough rest to keep being sustainable. And even taking the antidepressant is just only helping a bit to stabilize us in certain conditions. But we need a help to actually get to the state where our bodies and brains are completely restored and well rested. So antidepressant is not cure for mental health or brain conditions. It's just kind of like the supplements that helps us to, or helped me to get through the tough time a bit. But coming off from it, it's just so torturing. So I really don't recommend people to take it. But at the same time, I really think that I really needed it to get through everything. So I'm really hoping for people that please do not push yourself in life in everyday lives to get to the point that you have to actually take something, because if you once your brain is pushed to the limit, it's gonna take a long time and long way to get back to the normal state. And I can see why so many people are afraid of and is saying that taking effexor, taking antidepressant is not good. It's like a cycle that getting better, but reducing it is just so hard. Stopping it is much harder. And then there's a relapse, and then go back to and taking more medications in the end. And I could feel that. I feel why that could actually happen. And it's so hard for people to deal with it. It's just so not easy. So I can understand why people are blaming on the medications. Why did the doctor recommended this kind of medications? It's really horrible, very addictive, and we have to keep taking it. And then the doctor is actually making money, and which is all true. So what we can do the best to prevent us from getting into this bad cycle is to make sure, I think the prevention is very important. We are not supposed to push ourselves too much. We're not supposed to drink or like drink alcohol a lot or drink taking the caffeines too much to numb ourselves. We have to let ourselves feel how tired we are. And then when we feel tired, we just need to sleep more. That's basically it. So yeah, the ultimate answer to these questions, Yasu, do you think you made the right decisions to take antidepressant? The answer is actually no. I should have gotten myself into these situations from the first. from the initial point anyway. I should have not pushed myself too hard to stretch out. That was the mistake that I made. But I made a mistake, and I ended up being in a situations that are where I would have a choice to either take a medications or not, antidepressant. And then coming to that point, do I feel that I made the right decisions to take the antidepressant in the situations or under the circumstances? With the fact that I feel much better right now, the answer is actually yes. But as I said, it's subjective, very subjective, and it's a very survival biases. So if I make that video, I keep saying this one, last month, I would just say that, oh, I made a mistake of taking the antidepressant. So yeah, overall, don't push yourself. Always listen to your brain, feelings, and body. And then please revise or review how much alcohol you drink, how many caffeines you take a daily basis. If you consume these bit too much, that means you're trying to what you're feeling about your brain and body might not be in line with what's actually happening with your brain and body, and you might want to consider slowing down. And then let's say if you take less, you feel so tired, you feel you don't have much energy, that's the reality, which means you need to sleep more, you need to get more rest. Don't do the opposite. Because we're not machines, we are human beings or living organisms. We can heal ourselves, but we need to give our body and brain enough rest to make that happen. Anyway, so please take care of yourself. Thank you for watching. じゃあね、バイバイ。